Do you have problems establishing boundaries with people? Do you say yes to everyone and then feel burnt out in the end? Do you ever feel guilty for putting your own needs first? This video is for you. Hey guys, welcome back to Psyche Mastery. In this channel, we dive into all things of mastering our minds and becoming the best versions of ourselves. Now let's get into the video. If you're someone that's looking to be productive and make something of yourself, not knowing how to say no can be one of the greatest destructions to that productivity. By having clear goals and knowing exactly what it is that you want, you don't allow the demands of others to keep you from going and getting what you're looking for. Now, of course, wanting to help others and be there for them is a very honorable thing to do, but truthfully, it's no longer honorable when subconsciously you're putting your own needs to the side. There's a reason when we're on the plane, the flight attendant typically tells us to make sure that we fix our own mask first before we help others. If we don't have our own plans and goals aligned, how in the world can we show up as the best versions of ourselves? And also, your health can actually suffer if you don't say no to some requests or opportunities that aren't aligned with you and what you're looking for. When we get too busy and stressed, most of us sacrifice our basic essentials to keep us well functioning, like sleep, proper diet, good nutrition, and of course exercise. And when we overextend ourselves, we sometimes use unhealthy coping mechanisms like too much caffeine, sugar, we slide on our diet, other things like that again keep us from what we are really aligned to do and the kind of life that we're looking to have. When you start saying no, you take control back of your life. You feel more empowered, fulfilled, and healthier. True, it's not easy at first, especially if you are a people pleaser, but I promise the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Before we even get into how to say no to people, let's talk about why you may even have trouble saying no or why you're uncomfortable rejecting or saying no to people. For one, you may not want to disappoint or hurt this person. Maybe you care about them, it's somebody close to you, you really care about the friendship, or you just don't want to disappoint. Let me tell you, this not wanting to disappoint people comes from an intense desire to be liked. It's innate and it's in all of us. It's a survival technique, but in the modern day that we live in, it's not really needed. And let me be honest with you, not everybody's gonna like you. That's just the reality. And you have to get comfortable with some people just not liking you. I mean, to be completely honest, you don't want everybody to like you, because if everybody likes you, that means you don't really stand for anything. The beauty of us being humans is we're all our own individuals and we all have different interests and hobbies and things that we enjoy. You want to make sure you are being your authentic self, because this will help you attract more people that are aligned with you and would be more understanding. Trying to get people to like you will just end up driving you crazy, and I promise you'll just be bitter in the end. It's really worth it for you to put your own values first and stop caring about how others feel about you. I mean, think about the last time you said yes to someone when you really wanted to say no. Do you remember that feeling of resentment that came up when you actually followed through with what they requested of you? It's much better to draw boundaries and feel fulfilled with yourself than being resentful and bitter with somebody who you could have just said no to and not compromise your feelings towards the relationship. It's far better to be uncomfortable with saying no than it is to be resentful with somebody that you care about. So knowing what discomfort this brings up in you is great feedback for your own personal growth and your own better understanding of yourself and how you operate. Another reason why we may be afraid to say no is because we have a huge fear of missing out. We want to be able to take on new opportunities and adventures, so we say yes to everything instead. But as I mentioned before, saying yes to everything does eventually lead to burnout. And sometimes it's okay to miss out on today's pleasures so that you're focused on things that'll actually benefit you in the long term. Another reason why you may have trouble saying no, and this was my personal reason, is because you want to be easygoing and willing. And this kind of ties into the whole wanting to be liked thing, but it's not exactly the same thing. People pleasing tendencies are really detrimental to our success. As humans, like I mentioned, we want to be liked and, favored by everybody, but these old survival instincts are not serving you in the long term. Your success rides on your ability to actually honor your truth. We only have so much time on this earth, and saying no to what you don't want allows you more time to say yes to the things that you actually do want, so you can actually participate in the things that you enjoy and have a more fulfilling life as well. At the end of the day, you are responsible for creating your boundaries. No one else but you. If you feel like you're constantly finding yourself in situations where people want more and more of you and they're not respecting your boundaries, it may be a sign that you're not establishing your boundaries strong enough. At the end of the day, it is your responsibility to establish your boundaries with other people. They can't read your mind. You need to be the one to take charge of this. Your ability to say no shows that you are in the driver's seat of your own life. Now, I'm not saying that you have to say no to everything, of course. If there's something that you're genuinely interested in and aligns with you, of course say yes. But at the end of the day, whatever you're doing should be bringing some value to your life in whatever capacity. If it's valuable, then go ahead and do it. But at the end of the day, if it's not helping you in any way or serving you, don't do it. And to be completely honest with you, if you not doing something ends up hurting the relationship with somebody, you may question if that was ever a sincere relationship to begin with. At the end of the day, people who are really aligned with you and who are your people, they understand you. They understand your lifestyle. They understand what's important to you. And also, they'll never want you to do something that doesn't help you or serve you in the first place. So really find out if somebody's, overly guilting you for saying no to something that's not serving you. Find out if this person really has your best interest in mind in the first place. And truthfully, showing people that you respect your own time and values and your own schedule, subconsciously, when you share this with them, it allows them to respect you more for it because they realize you're not a pushover and you have your own priorities in life, which is amazing. Now, let's talk about exactly how to say no and establish your boundaries respectfully. Well, first and foremost, just be direct and say it, okay? Don't beat around the bush and, don't offer any weak or lazy excuse. And also, don't delay or stall either. That's something I've always done. And truthfully, it's way more rude to ignore somebody than to just be direct with them and let them know why you're not able to help them or whatever it is that they're asking. So nowadays, I actually make it a point to say no as early as possible out of respect for myself and for the other person and their time. Also, when you're saying no, you can, offer a brief explanation if it makes you feel better, but don't feel compelled to as well. I think this really comes down to the relationship that you have with the person. No, you don't owe people explanations at all, but, be mindful of the relationship that you have with someone. For example, you could say, no, I can't right now, sorry, but I'll let you know when I can. Right? This approach is polite and it puts you in a position of power by essentially changing the dynamic. Another example, if you really like the person and you want to show them that you're agreeable or whatever the case, you can tell them no, sorry, I can't do this, I can't make it, but if you still need me, and find another time that you are available and maybe you would be willing while not compromising on your own boundaries, let me know if you still need me next week or on the 15th or whenever it is that actually works with you and your schedule. There's nothing wrong with helping people and it's an honorable thing to do, but just make sure that whatever you're saying yes to doesn't compromise yourself and your values and whatever you're trying to do in your life. A pro tip, if you do have a chronic problem with saying no, something that I found to be very helpful is by having no as my default option. So let's say I'm not completely sure, somebody's asking for plans, somebody's asking for a favor. My default option is always no. I change it to a yes after evaluating the offer from this person and seeing if it's something I care to do, I'm willing to do, and that fits within my schedule. But having no as your default option always just makes things a lot easier for you, and it doesn't hurt to call someone up after and let them know that, hey, plans have changed, I am available, I can help you out, whatever the case. Also keep in mind, it's always good to end the conversation on a good note. If you're not able to fulfill whatever somebody's looking for out of you, it could help maybe pointing them in the right direction. I can't do it, but here's who can, or even just providing resources for them. At the end of the day, having great relationships in your life is important. And I'm not telling you to blow off all of these relationships. I'm just telling you to establish firm boundaries and make sure you're always putting yourself first. When you start saying no more often, you take back control over your life. Imagine the peace that you have knowing that you're only doing the things that you want to do. Listen, you may lose some relationships because of this, but truthfully, they weren't relationships worth having. And the people who are meant to stay, they will stay and they will stick. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this video brought you a ton of value. Make sure to like this video, comment. If you have any video topics, let me know. I am a newer channel, but I'm interested in building a community with like-minded individuals who are empowered to take control of control over their life and, you know, develop themselves into the best versions possible. So again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.